Hi, everyone. This is Kevin A. Davis with Ink Pub. I've got my list of names as you guys came on. So, what I'm going to do is just sort of walk around the circle and ask you what you're up to. I know some of you got some exciting news, so I just want to see what your projects are and what's going on. And we're going to start off with A. Balsamo.
Oh gosh, so much pressure. Um, my name's April. I'm an editor. I do a lot of stuff for Ink Pub. I'm about to start slush reading for one of Ink Pub's anthologies and choosing the stories before I get to the actual edits. Also, about to do a dev edit on a new fantasy novel.
Mm.
I'm expecting to receive this week, starting an edit on a book that's unusual kind of for me to do. It's about the beginning of a football team, a small town football team that started from nothing and grew to be like really huge news in this person's town. So that'll be fun and different, I suppose. And of course, I'm waiting on the edits for the Jordan Con anthology. There's probably some other stuff, but it's Sunday afternoon and I'm tired, and that's what I can remember.
And
So
you're
I
going to
do a little bit of, I do all different kinds of work from dev editing to copy editing to manuscript evaluations. Kind of a one-stop shop here.
you're going to be slushing out Non-Corporeal 4 soon.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you're a huge football fan, so I imagine that football's
I know,
cool.
right?
All
Uh,
right. All right. Thank you. Rosemary, what are you up to? What's been going on?
I knew you were going to come to me very quickly. Um, Hi everyone. I have a short story that is going to be in Hidden Villains Duos. That short story ties into a science fiction book of mine that is going to get published under Mocha Memoirs Press next year. Now, those of you who might not realize, Mocha Memoirs is owned and operated by Nicole Givens Kurtz, who is also the headlining author for Hidden Villains Duos. So Kevin is just tickled about everything getting linked together like that. Uh,
When Robin picked you for the cover, I was like, "Oh, that is so cool!" Because now your name's right under there. All right. That's what you got for today. I mean, it's pretty big news. So
yeah, I mean is that not enough? Are we?
no. I mean, other than your escape to Portugal, that's good.
Oh yeah, yeah. In less than 2 months, I'm moving to Portugal, which is why the screen behind me is a hot mess. Because we are in the packing.
All right. Thank you, Rosemary. David, why don't we hear a little bit about what's going on over in your world?
Um, okay, I've never been in one of these, so feel free to rein me in if I start to ramble because
Ah,
I'm old and I do that.
go for it.
So, so I guess I'm in from Colorado. I'm one of those guys who's been writing for decades, literally, and I guess to tie this into what we're doing here, I didn't actually know that I would participate. I thought I was going to be an audience, but that's okay too. Um, I just finally decided as I approached retirement that I thought I'd just start putting this stuff out there. So I collected a bunch into an anthology, and Kevin, that's where you and I, as I recall, ran into a little bit of a problem. I self-published it, and I put one of my stories in there that was accepted by Inked for their anthology, and it's like, oh wait, did I do something? Yes, I did. So, but I learned,
Yep.
and I'm still learning. And so I'm continuing to write, submit mostly to smaller independent presses because that's kind of where I wander basically. I'm just looking to when I retire, I want to make music, write, and be a friend of nature. And that's pretty much. I do have so many things that I'm working on, and I do have, if I can get away with this, this
Yep.
is I just released this, uh, and so
Nice.
I published this. And it's a novel and it's a science fiction with a little touch of horror. And I'm kind of hoping get that out there. And then my next one is a horror western. I cross genres. And then one after that I'm having is a novel I hope to have finished next year called Ironwood Falls. And that one, I was a police officer for quite a few years, and I was in law enforcement for even more. And one of the things that bothered me, and one of the things I'm not in it anymore, is because I find that we as a society aren't equal in the way we treat people. And so missing and murdered Indigenous women has been a concern of mine for a very long time. So this novel kind of takes a bite at that. And it kind of has a lead character as kind of and this is so bear with me. I actually just finished prostate cancer treatment, and don't worry about that. It is what it is. I'm 68 almost, and it makes me foggy sometimes. So basically, the idea is that the cop represents all of the wrong things that we do whenever it's the victim of something is not white, pretty, and blonde.
Right.
And so that's as close to a political statement as I'll make right now. But so anyway, those are in the works, and then hopefully next December, the end of next year is when I'll retire and I'll be able to devote full time to this.
Nice.
Right now, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. I work for an independent, not-for-profit energy generator, and so that's 20 some years of being in IT. So then probably it's a good time to shut up.
Oh, I'm glad we got a chance to hear about that. Actually, some of those stories sound very, very interesting. So I'd love to hear more.
Well, and one of the things, the story you accepted was Genotype 6F, which takes in a lot of my biology background, because that's my first love.
Right.
And I'm an ally. So putting that in that particular anthology made me very, very happy. And thank you for taking it.
Thank you for submitting it. All right. Thank you so much. Aaron, let's hear a little bit about what you're up to.
So I'm kind of perennially working on different short stories. Lately, I've been trying to just stick with one till the next kind of milestone. So I have one that's called The Most Important Part of the Dragon, that outlining it, expanding it from being a really short story that didn't give the main character enough agency or anything to do is just really, I'm finding it very difficult, but still rewarding. And I think this is funny because my most frequent interface with Zoom besides this would be therapy. So hopefully I won't reveal anything too embarrassing.
No. Well, good to hear what you're working on. All right. Sierra.
Hi, guys. Everyone's project sounds so interesting and exciting. I've working actually on another short story to submit to Inked Press. That deadline's coming up soon. I'm excited for that one. I am also kind of in the middle of working on some stuff for applying for PhD programs. So I'm getting those materials together. I forgot to say I'm out in Tucson, Arizona. So a lot of my stuff is desert inspired, but yeah, that's it. And storyboarding for, always writing the next novel, but I haven't published one yet, just been in a few anthologies and submit to some contests this year too. So we'll see how those turn out.
So why haven't you published your novels?
Well, I've written my first one and I've queried it a little bit. I should really do more, but I would like to. So I've got one that I kind of am in the querying process for. It's fantasy. And then I've got one I'm working on that's more my wheelhouse, which is more like urban paranormal fantasy. So that's what I'm excited for and I'm in the middle of. Hopefully I aim to finish that one. Tell myself this, I aim to finish the rough draft by hopefully middle of next year so I can get into some revisionary process.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Good luck on that. And nothing better than putting words on a paper to get you to write even better.
Yes.
All right. And Tim, we're doing this circle real quick.
It is going quick. So maybe I'll talk slower.
Real slow.
We can use up some of the time. So I'm Tim Lewis. Like everybody, I have a day job, and my day job is in aerospace. And so in my free time, I do hobbies, as you can see behind me. I have hobbies over there, And then, of course, writing is my favorite hobby. So I've got 9 short stories that have been published so far. And I'm currently working a novel with a very prolific writer. He's got a lot of books out there, and he's taking me under his wing as we complete this novel. So it's done now. It's going to the editor for one final scrub, and then we're going to start querying it now. We've got one publisher lined up, ready to see it, or at least the first 3 chapters, and then we'll go from there to see where it goes. In terms of items in work, I've got a couple. I'm looking over at my Scrivener, and I've got a couple short stories laying there that need to be cleaned up a little bit, and a novella that I want to try to find a home for. So those are my big things I have going on right now. So keeps me busy. Busy's better than bored.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll give you guys a little on mine. Just finished up another novel for a urban fantasy piece. So that's going to go through the revisions before it goes any farther. Get it out to dev and then do that. But that was literally today. On Inked Pub side, we've published, I think, 8 anthologies this year.
Wow.
3 of them are going out for Shirley Jackson because they're horror, for Shirley Jackson Awards. And then I'm going through now to pick up stories along those that will go out to Pushcart, and a number of other award things. So that's been a little bit, getting them out for awards and everything else has been a focus. I don't think Non-Corporeal 4 will come up in 2025, so that won't go out this year. I have been taking, previously we've published some non-fiction, including that I'm about to speak with the writer, the author, who does, April is working with on the football piece. So we'll be doing that nonfiction as well. But I'm in the middle of reading through first pages and the I'm going to switch the view here since we're done. Working on some novel submissions, which I hadn't taken fantasy or anything else prior. So I've been taking in some pages, and one of them I asked for a full, and I'm finding it very interesting, and I'm sure I'm going to probably go with it. It will depend on the ending. Where they've taken me has been a good story, but that takes so much time, reading through and, on a comprehensive level, not a skim. So that has been taking up a huge amount of time over at Inked. But that is our direction that we're moving, because I'm finding that there's so many places now where AI is shoving into the market and eating up space. And that's one of the reasons I like to do these meet and greets is, hey, look, humans with stories. They're a good thing to, share. I'll post this up later. We'll on YouTube, we'll share it over on Facebook, and you guys can put it out there as like, look, I'm a human. I write. So that people have an opportunity. So that's been sort of on my plate is more of a lot of the Inked Pub pieces along with my writing. I mean, I tend to, I write full time. It's sort of what funds Inked Pub. So I have plenty of opportunity to get my words out, but I do have to all the marketing and everything else with Inked Pub. So that's what I've been up to. And my biggest piece was literally just got finished today. It was all the denouement, which I enjoy. So that's my day. While we're at it, what was mentioned on querying, and I know Rosemary has been through the process
I mean,
for a little
uh,
while. So not
I
huge, but probably
I
more than
kind
most
of,
people hear.
yeah, and I kind of avoided. I rolled in a successful evade check on the querying trenches. It was the only thing I've ever sent to an agent was asked for, and she sent back a bunch of notes. And like it's like this isn't my genre wheelhouse, but here's some suggestions, and you and then she wanted me to eventually submit it to her boss, and I just haven't gotten back to that story because my brain wanted to write what is gonna get published next year. And sometimes when you've got the ADHDs and the autisms, you have to follow the dopamine. So I haven't actually been querying agents. I pitched directly to Nicole Gibbons Kurtz at JordanCon this year. And that is, she was interested in the pitch. She asked for first 3 chapters. I sent them. 2 months later, she asked for full manuscript. So I sent it. And then a month and a half after that, it was a contract offer, which just went way faster than I ever could have expected. But small, I think the smaller the press, the more nimble they are.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, I took advantage of the face-to-face opportunities that popped up, and this one I wound up paying off.
Yeah, you've done a lot of Worldcon, Dragonsteel, those kind where you do bump against a lot of agents and publishers, so that it does help. I'll always recommend that elevator pitch, literally at the bar, at the booth, in the elevator, whatever it takes, is a much better opportunity than sort of a cold page that they're getting 70 of a day.
But my advice is, though, that unless they are actively like soliciting pitches, talk to them like a human.
Yeah.
Um, ask them about what they're doing. Ask them what they're excited about that they're working on at the moment, and get them engaged and feel like that you're interested in what they're doing. And then they may eventually ask you, so what are you working on? And, it becomes a conversation rather than you trying to corner this professional and go, please. My opportunity to pitch to Nicole was because she had signed up to do mentoring sessions. I signed up for the pitch mentoring session, not actually knowing for sure whether I was going to be pitching a book or getting mentored on how to do a good pitch. Turns out it was the first. So I took full advantage of the opportunity, and it paid off more than I ever expected.
Yeah. So I will mention what Rosemary's talking about is JordanCon, which is from Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, and there's a bunch of tracks, including sci-fi, fantasy, Cosmere, all of that. But when I run the author's workshop track, which is where we do the mentorship. We also do a slush read with a number of professionals. So you sit with not a slush read, but more of an evaluation or review of 1,000 words, where you're sitting in a group of professionals who also that have some focus in the career, editors, publishers, authors, and you're with peers and you sit there and read it. So that is one of the things we do at the workshop. The other is the mentorship. And I'm always begging whenever the guest lists come up, I'm like, I need publishers so that I can get people to pitch, because I can get usually 4 pitches in an hour, and that gives people a chance to sit there and pitch their story and maybe get a call. So that's what Rosemary's talking about, is specifically the JordanCon workshop. But other places do it. It's always worth looking at your local cons and seeing if they have that kind of stuff going on.
And being involved in those cons and being a known quantity, like even before I had ever gotten to the pitch part, I would always do rounds of through the author's alley, and I'm a big cosplayer, and so many of the authors were always excited to see the costumes come through because they were chained to either their tables or whatever panel they're on. They don't have the chance to go wander around the con. So they get excited when they see someone coming in, and like I would go and like show things off, and and they enjoyed that. They appreciated that. And Nicole already knew me from my history of doing that. So she already knew who I was before I pitched, just because we had chatted as human beings, a year or two before. So becoming someone they know is always advantageous, even when it's not really what you're expecting to do.
Yep. Anybody else want to jump in?
Just making me think of, always good to hear more tips on how to seem like a human being. I mean, it's always.
I mean, I've been in like the convention trenches for a while, and I'm starting to sort of extract myself out of that somewhat. But I went in with the philosophy of I am a baby writer, and I want to eventually become a real grown up writer, but I want to contribute to like my local convention and do things and be active in the community to benefit fandom while I have the time and energy to do that before I get to the point where I am asking fandom to support me. So I've paid some dues. Co-chairing World Fantasy it was a great experience. I'm very happy that I did it. I am never doing it again.
Which World Fantasy was that? What location?
2023, the one that was here in Kansas City.
Okay, nice. Well, more reasons to go to Kansas City. We've treated it as our big trips are usually from Austin to Wisconsin, so I've had many tantalizing glimpses of Kansas City without actually stopping.
No, I won't be here for much longer though, because we're moving to Portugal.
Anybody else have anything they want to throw in here while we're chatting? All right, well, I am going to end the recording by saying thank you guys. I appreciate everyone being here.